everyone, join me today as I go to the old Mormon fort in sort of the old part of Las Vegas. It's now a state park. I hope that I can put some information out there that you'll enjoy, and take care. Okay, so this is the Nevada State Park passport book. You can collect stamps at each of the state parks, and once you get 15 stamps, you will get a free year-round pass to the Nevada State Parks. It's a pretty fun program. I've participated in it once before, and I'm going to redo it for my Nevada State Parks trip. So when you enter the state park, you come in and you pay a fee of $3, and you take a look around the museum, which explains the history of the old Las Vegas Mormon fort, which was developed in 1855. There are a lot of really nice artifacts in this museum, and it is well worth the $3. I can't complain. When the Mormons first settled here in Las Vegas, they settled here because of the water that was available around the Mormon fort, and I have a video and a picture of that same spring here at the end of the video. But when they arrived here in Las Vegas, they found Native Americans that were obviously settled here, and they basically tried to baptize them and turn them into Mormons. And that turned sour. The Native Americans began stealing from the Mormons, and also there was murder and other horrible things that happened during that time between the Native Americans and the Mormon settlers. In the beginning of the Mormon fort times, Archibald Stewart brought his wife and their 3 children here to Las Vegas, and after 2 years, Helen had created her own skills, and she was actually credited for expanding the Mormon fort and expanding the area for the Mormon settlers here in Las Vegas. Helen Stewart was actually considered the first lady of Las Vegas. The ranch actually played a big part in the railroad. It was basically a settling point for the railroad company, and from 1929 to 1931, the site also played a huge part in the construction of the Hoover Dam. The Bureau of Reclamation leased the adobe building and used it as a concrete testing laboratory. And after that, the problems grew for the Hoover Dam was actually responsible for bringing the men who were into gambling into Las Vegas. And that's when the gambling started in Las Vegas. The Mormon Church was completely against gambling and drinking, and they wanted no part of it until the people who were gambling and building the casinos were actually donating money to help the Mormon Church and build up the Mormon Church. There was even a point in time where the head of the Mormon Church in Utah forced the Las Vegas Mormon churches to give back that money. I mentioned before that the Bureau of Reclamation leased the adobe building and used it as a concrete testing laboratory, and this caused problems when it comes to preserving this historical site. And in 1971, the Las Vegas Elks, who operated a restaurant on the site, acquired this building, and shortly after that, the city of Las Vegas purchased the property. The Nevada Division of State Parks acquired this property from the city in 1991 and helped develop a state park out of this property in order to preserve this historical site. People who love Nevada history are very grateful for the Nevada Division of State Parks for preserving the old Las Vegas Mormon fort. Because of that, I get to show you this video of this historical site, and come on in and take a look. I will give you some more information as we take a walk through the Mormon Fort State Park. I found this information on the park's website. The fort was made of adobe bricks, and when completed, consisted of 4 walls, which were 150 feet long. There's a 2-story interior building over there. Parts of the original eastern wall and the southeastern bastion remain preserved on the site today. The settlers diverted water from the creek to irrigate the farmland. The creek I will show you at the end of this tour. It still remains on property. Crops began to fail. I showed you the garden actually when we first came outside. I didn't really walk over there. There wasn't really much to look at. So crops failed, and disappointing yields and nearby lead mining efforts and dissensions among the group's leaders caused the settlers to abandon the fort in 1857. That did not take long, did it? They settled down in 1855, and they abandoned it in 1857. While the Mormon settlement of Las Vegas proved unsuccessful, their legacy continued in the adobe buildings they constructed. The fort was used by many travelers, as I stated before. It was used by the railroad, and also it was used by the men who were building the Hoover Dam nearby in Boulder City. In 1861, this fort was used as a store for travelers by Albert Knapp, and in 1865, Octavius Decatur Gas acquired the site of the fort and used it as a ranch. Gas became an important figure in the region. He actually served 4 terms in Arizona for territorial legislature and selling food and supplies to miners in the El Dorado Canyon. If you don't know, El Dorado Canyon is actually along the Colorado River. It was also used as a store for the Mormon Settlers of St. Thomas, and I will actually post a video of St. Thomas later on when the road gets rebuilt. It was just washed out in recent rain. So all these adobe bricks are original to the Mormon fort. I'm going to take you over to an area where it looks like there's a grate over here that was used for mining or sifting. I'm not sure. If you know, leave it in the comments. There's lots of really neat wagons over here too, and I posted some pretty neat pictures of those wagons. I wanted to post some normal colored images in this video, but I also wanted to post them in black and white just so we can get that feel for history. When I look at black and white photographs, it makes me feel connected more with history of the area. I thought the forge equipment over here was pretty neat. There's a couple anvils and some coal and some ironworking tools over here. I thought that was very interesting. I took my time looking over here. Now, you may leave a comment in the bottom section if I'm wrong, but I don't think that this building is one of the original buildings that the Mormon settlers built, but I do believe it was probably added on by Albert Knapp or someone after him to build that store that we were talking about. And here there's some really neat equipment, though. Some sewing equipment, some threading equipment, a scale, some really neat maps, old dressers, and basically some other historical artifacts about the area. I think the ties between the state park and the St. Thomas place out by Lake Mead, the ties between the two places really intrigue me, and I cannot wait to get out to St. Thomas again to basically document the area. enjoyed this tour of the old Las Vegas Mormon fort. I hope you got a taste of history about the area, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. So here's that creek I was speaking about before, where basically this is what made or intrigued the Mormon settlers and encouraged them to settle down here. You can see from my video or the pictures that the creek doesn't flow very well. It flows good enough, but it doesn't flow good enough to support an entire group of people. And later on, I will actually go to one of the wetlands and some other wetlands here in Nevada and show you why Las Vegas is called Las Vegas. And before I end this video, I wanted to let you know that I'm not being paid by the state of Nevada or Nevada State Parks. This is just a trip that I thought would be fun, and I am doing it on my own. I hope that you found this information useful. Thank you.